Most men today are operating at a fraction of their biological potential. We are living through a documented, peer-reviewed testosterone collapse. In the last 40 years, average male testosterone levels have dropped by roughly 1% per year. While the mainstream media points to diet or lifestyle, there is a biological level most of us are simply ignoring. Deep in the rainforests of Southeast Asia grows a root known as Eurycoma Longifolia, commonly called Longjack or Tongkat Ali. This is not a hype video. This is the most comprehensive breakdown of this molecule ever put to film. We are going to examine the Leydig cell activation, the cortisol suppression, the impact on sperm morphology, and the exact numerical evidence from human clinical trials that proves why this plant is the most potent natural anabolic on earth. Now, to truly understand the power of this compound, you have to start at the very beginning with the plant itself. Eurycoma longifolia is a slow-growing flowering shrub native to Indonesia, Malaysia, and Vietnam. In traditional medicine, it's known as Ali's walking stick, a nod to its long, twisting root. But what inside those roots is what interests us. The plant produces secondary metabolites called quasinoids. These are highly bitter, biologically active compounds that the plant uses for its own defense. In humans, these quasinoids, specifically Eurycomanone, interact with our endocrine system at a foundational level. But here is a catch. It takes 10 years for a root to reach maturity. If a company harvests young roots, the concentration of Eurycomanone is negligible. This is why you see so many failed reviews of Tongkat Ali on the internet. They aren't taking the molecule, they are taking grounded wood fiber. But once you find a high quality source, the way it interacts with your internal hardware is fascinating. To understand why it works, we have to look at the HPG axis. Think of your body like a factory. Your brain, via hypothalamus, sends signal to your pituitary gland, which then releases luteinizing hormone, OLH. This hormone travels through bloodstream to testes where it signals the Leydig cell to convert cholesterol into testosterone. Eurycomanone doesn't just mimic testosterone, it acts as sensitizer. It makes the HPG axis more efficient. In fact, studies show it actually inhibits the negative feedback loop. Usually when your testosterone gets high, your brain tells your body to stop producing it. Eurycomanone blocks that stop signal, allowing your body to maintain a higher natural baseline without shutting down your own production. The sensitivity is the core mechanism, but the benefits manifest in three other specific ways simultaneously. First, it forces those Leydig cells to work harder by increasing the conversion of pregnenolone into testosterone. Second, it acts as a mild aromatase inhibitor, preventing your T from converting into estrogen. And third, it tackles the lock on your hormones, a protein called SHBG, or sex hormone binding globulin. By lowering SHBG, it releases what we call free testosterone, the only kind your muscle can actually use for repair and growth. Now, that's the theory. But let's look at the foundational clinical data to see if the numbers actually back this up. You can see a table on the screen. Look at those shifts. In the landmark study published in Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition, researchers found that Longjack didn't just raise T level, it crushed cortisol. In word bodybuilding, we call this the anabolic catabolic ratio. If your cortisol is high, your body is essentially eating your own muscle tissue. By dropping cortisol by 16% while raising testosterone by nearly 40%, you aren't just getting stronger. You are creating a biological shield against muscle breakdown. Which naturally leads to the big question, how does this translate from a blood test to heavy iron in the gym? Let's pivot to ergogenic or performance enhancing effect. A double-blind placebo-controlled trial put this to the test over a 5-week training cycle. You can see another table on the screen. The group taking just 100 milligrams of a standardized extract gained 5 times more lean muscle than placebo group in just over a month. They also saw a significant reduction in body fat. This is why Longjack is unique in the botanical world. It isn't just libido booster, it's a physical reconstruction tool. It increases the rate of protein synthesis, which is the literal speed at which your body repairs the micro tear you create during heavy workouts. But the benefits of hormonal optimization go far beyond just muscle tissue. They affect our very ability to build a legacy. We need to discuss male fertility. For many men, hormonal health is about more than just the gym. It's about reproductive ability. A study involving 350 men published in Asian Journal of Andrology looked at Longjack effect on sperm quality. These men were given 200 milligrams of extract daily. After 9 months, the research recorded a 65% increase in sperm concentration and a 94% increase in normal sperm morphology. This happens because testosterone is a primary deliverer of spermatogenesis. By optimizing the Leydig cell output, Longjack improves the entire reproductive environment. For men struggling with fertility, this is the aesthetically massive intervention achieved without the side effect of pharmaceutical drugs. And if it's doing this for your physical hardware, it's also doing it for your mental software. Beyond the physical, we have to talk about the brain. Most people don't realize that testosterone is a neurostimulant. It affects how you perceive stress, how you handle conflict, and your overall drive. In a 4-week study assessing mood state, participants taking Longjack showed a significant decrease in tension anger, and confusion. Tension dropped by 11%, anger by 12%, and confusion by 15%. Their vigor score, their will to act, increased by 11%. This is why many bodybuilders report better mind-muscle connection and higher aggression in the gym when using this extract. Without the roid rage associated with synthetics, it brings you back to a state of calm, focused masculinity. And even with all of these benefits, you might be wondering how it stacks up against other supplements you've heard about. Well, let's look at how Longjack compares to other big players in industry. I'll put another table on screen for you. As you can see, while Ashwagandha is the gold standard for stress, it doesn't have some direct impact on Leydig cell that Longjack does. Fadogia agressus is popular, but almost all data we have is on rodents, not humans. Longjack remains the king because it addresses the hormonal profile from multiple angles simultaneously with human clinical backing. However, having the best mechanism in the world doesn't matter if you are putting garbage in your body. We have to talk about the dirty side of the industry. Because Longjack is a root, it acts as a hyper-accumulator. This means it sucks up everything in the soil, including lead, mercury, arsenic. A study of 100 products in Malaysia found that significant portion exceeded the safe limit for lead. You must ensure you are using a standardized extract from a company that provides third-party lab tests. I want to put you a checklist on the screen which helps you to have some categories and criteria for opting a good product. First, a standardization from 0.5% to 2% Eurycomanone as minimum level. Extraction ratio 100 to 1 or 200 to 1. Third-party lab test, check for heavy metal, lead, mercury. Color must be light to medium brown. Pitch black often means the extract was burned. It could have tan color. As for your organs, is it safe? A 2013 Toxicology study confirmed that doses up to 600 milligrams per day showed no and zero negative impact on the liver enzymes, ALT, AST, or kidney function, creatinine. In fact, it may even be productive, but more is not always better. Stick to the clinical dose. This brings us to the practical application, the how-to of optimization. How do we actually take this to maximize the result? The clinical sweet spot is 200 to 400 milligrams per day of a standardized extract. Some athletes take up to 600 milligrams, but the diminishing returns start to kick in after 400 milligrams. Now, should you cycle it? While the science doesn't show a shutdown of your natural hormones, I recommend a cycle to prevent androgen receptor downregulation. And I'm going to offer you two options. Option 1, 5 days on, 2 days off. This is a weekly cycle. And option 2, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. The monthly cycle. This keeps your body sensitive to carcinoids and ensure that the Vigor effect doesn't plateau. So, let's wrap this up. Is Longjack a magic pill? No. If you aren't lifting heavy, if you aren't eating protein, and if you are only sleeping 4 hours a night, no route in the world is going to save you. But if the foundation is there, Longjack is gold standard. It targets the Leydig cell. It lowers cortisol. It frees up SHBG. And it has been proven in humans to increase fat-free mass and strength. I've spent hundreds of hours reading this journal to bring you this data. If you found this level of detail helpful, please hit the subscribe button.